the show.
Hey, what's up, peeps? My name is Lachlan Monroe. You're watching Vinny and Skip on the Best Damn Movie Show on YouTube.com.
Avengers: Age of Ultron. We went to go see it last night. I'm Vincent LaSpada, along with my co-host from the fourth row, sits in the fourth row, Dan Skip Allen.
Yeah, man. What a great, crazy, wild ride that movie was.
It comes out this Friday, May 1st. We got a sneak preview last night. And I tell you what, I enjoyed it. I know Skip said that what'd you say? You liked it better than the first one?
Yeah, I actually did. I mean, when you start out, man, it's just an action scene right off the bat. I mean, you just start the movie and you're in a giant battle right from the very beginning. And to give you a little bit of backstory on this, Captain America, the Winter Soldier, there was a post-credit scene where you get to see Baron von Strucker and the Maximoff twins, Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, played by Aaron Taylor Johnson and Elizabeth Olsen. So, and now in the fast forward to the beginning of this movie, there's this giant action scene where the Avengers are battling Hydra, or some of the troops that are led by one of their higher-up generals, Baron von Strucker, and he has the twins working for him.
Now, is he like Baron von Trucker?
Baron
like
von
Trucker, like a
like
Baron.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's a trucker. Yeah, he's a trucker. Yeah, he's a trucker in Germany during World War II. Yeah, that's it. No, he's one of the high-up generals that works for Hydra. He is one of the baddies that. And then he was doing experiments, and he got the Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, and he did experiments on them in Slovenia. And so once the Avengers defeat them, we go into the actual story about this movie. And the story is that Mark Ruffalo's Bruce Banner and Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man / Tony Stark decide they're going to create a sentient life form. They want to create a robot that can think and act.
Called Ultron.
And they called it the Ultron Initiative. And one thing leads to another.
And it goes bad, and he turns.
And then he somehow changes his computer genetics, and he thinks that instead of helping and doing good and being a force for good, he's like, well, I want to take over the world. Out of nowhere. I mean, this just comes out of nowhere. You know, they're playing this kind of funny game where they're trying to lift Thor's hammer. You know.
Oh yeah, that's right. And then it was Iron Man and Captain America,
and Hawkeye,
and then Scarlett Johansson goes, "No, I'm not going to try that."
Yeah, I don't have nothing to prove. In other words, it's a contest of who's got the bigger bleep. And she's like, "Nah, I don't need to prove."
Hold on.
That
before that though. Okay, so Iron Man tried it, and then he went to get his glove.
Yeah, he get the Iron Man.
And then he got War Machine, and him both trying
to do it, and they couldn't do it either. Yeah, that was kind of funny. And of course, Thor got really worried when Captain America barely budged it. And that was kind of funny.
And then later on, Tony Stark builds a robot that looks like.
Well, yeah, he builds. What happened was, Ultron creates what he feels like is the perfect sentient life form. He obviously doesn't believe he's the perfect sentient life form. So he creates a seed, what he calls the seed, a vision, his vision of the perfect sentient life form. And so we have another whole scene where they're trying to capture this seed, this body that Ultron creates. his vision of the perfect sentient life form. But the whole story revolves around, a lot of it revolves around chasing after Loki's scepter, which in Loki's scepter we find out is the mind gem, one of the 6 infinity gems. We've already ran into 3 of them. They have speculated that Loki's scepter had one of the infinity gems.
Now, was Loki in this movie?
No, he was not. But
I didn't think so.
His scepter was, and it had the mind gem in it, and that's one of the infinity gems. We know they've been starting this storyline, bits and pieces. If you watch throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they've been leading towards Thanos in Infinity War Part 1 and 2. We already know in 2018, 2019 is going to be Infinity War Part 1 and Part 2. So, needless to say, the Mind Gem helps bring the Vision to life. And he then helps the Avengers go on to fight Ultron and his legion of Ultron robots.
Well, it was a good film. I enjoyed it. We're both a little tired, so we're going to see it again to make sure we get the full effect. In the beginning of the show, I showed you that they gave us free posters. On the back of that Captain America poster is a picture of Thor, and then there's one more poster that has the Hulk and Iron Man. So, like, if you go to a special screening or if you go see the movie, they might be giving out those posters, or they might be giving out glasses. Also, the movie I thought had really good special effects. I thought there was one part where they lifted the whole city and it was floating in the air.
Yeah, he puts like a giant engine underneath the Slovenia city that Baron von Strucker was at and the twins were at the beginning of the movie. He kind of puts like this computer, like matrix kind of engine underneath the city, and it puts like, and it like raises up the city because he wants to destroy all these people, and of course, you know, the Avengers can't have that, you know what I mean? And you get to see some of these characters like Ulysses Claw earlier in the movie, because Ultron's like, I want the perfect body, and he goes to Africa because Ulysses Claw's base is on this giant ship in the shipyard, and he wants to get these vibranium tubes so he can create the perfect body for himself. And of course, we find out what happens to Ulysses Claw in the movie. I have a feeling we're going to see him down the road, maybe in a Black Panther movie, you know what I mean? And, you know, what I like is a lot of character development. What do you think of like the character development of Hawkeye? And they showed some of Hawkeye's family, and he had a lot of really good lines and stuff like that.
I think this movie was kind of like, a little bit kind of like Mockingjay, to where they introduced a character, but there was more action than Mockingjay. They introduced the characters, they showed you some of the background, some of the family members. They pieced a little bit together so you can understand as much as you can to go into the third and fourth parts of the saga. So I think what they're doing is I believe, this is my theory, when we go on and see the new Captain America, the new Thor, and if they do a new Iron Man, I don't know if they're going to. And the Hulk comes out this year, doesn't it?
No, there's no Hulk, but I'm not going to give it away. There's a scene there's a possibility of something happening to the Hulk, which is very, very interesting. That was a very surprising thing. Like, a lot of the main characters kind of go their separate ways. Without giving away, they kind of go their separate ways in this movie. Maybe they might come back for either Infinity War or Captain America Civil War. We don't know. But a lot of the main characters kind of, I'm going this way, you go that way, this one goes this way, and you don't know what happens, where they're all going to go. So it's interesting to see that. You know what I mean?
Well, what do you give the biggest movie, biggest blockbuster to start off the summer with? Because this is the very first movie that's kicking off the summer blockbuster movie series.
I'm going to give it a big C, but that with an asterisk of I'm going to see it again so I can absorb it into my consciousness one more time. There was a lot of subplots and little nooks and crannies that you gotta focus on a little bit more, and I gotta focus on those things. I saw a lot of what could possibly be threads to other movies, like you said, Captain America, Thor, Infinity War, down the line.
I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10, and I'm going to see it again like Skip is. But here's another thing, too. What do you predict it's going to do?
Yeah, this is a big... Him and I have had this debate. I mean, I think it's going to break its own record, which Avengers has the record of $207 million opening weekend box office. I believe it's going to break its record. I think it's going to get closer to 250. I know you have something else to say.
I'm going to say it's going to do no more than 220.
So you're saying 220 million for the weekend, and I'm saying 250. And by the way, it's already made over 200 million worldwide. It's opened in England and Australia and a bunch of other countries. So
and I think it's gonna go close to $1 billion. And the guy last night said it's going to be $2 billion. So
yes, yeah, I know. I mean, $2 billion is a lot of money. I mean, for a movie, that is a lot.
And that guy, if that guy thinks a movie can make $2 billion off the bat, he's fucking crazy.
Well, Avatar and Titanic made.
It took them time though.
A lot of money. Both of those made a lot of money. And if you go back, I know it's what they do is they go back and say, okay, Casablanca. I mean, Gone with the Wind or Casablanca. Obviously, the monetary value back then was different than the monetary value now. But if you accumulate the money that it cost to go see Gone with the Wind or Casablanca back in the day and put it to today's dollars, those movies would have made, I mean, boatloads of money.
Yeah.
Boatloads of money.
Well, later tonight we're going to be doing our Best in Movie show. This is just a Avengers Age of Ultron review.
Yes.
So make sure you check us out. The show will be up tomorrow. So Thursday. I'm Vince La Spada.
I am Skip.
And we'll see you at the movies. Ah!